This is a Frank podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Extremely Casual Gamers podcast with me, Ellie.
Not Chris and me, Guy.
He's still not back. Sorry, team. If he's your favourite on this podcast, which he shouldn't be, but if he is your favourite, don't worry, he is going to be back next episode, isn't he?
He's in that unfortunate final week of his holiday. When you on day one, you're like, oh my God, I've got 4 weeks in Europe. Like this is
so much time.
This is gonna be so great. And then all of a sudden it hits that Monday, and you're like, oh, hang on, we're flying on Saturday, which basically means we're done by Friday, but then we're going to be packing on Friday evening. So basically cuts us to Thursday. Oh my God, I've got 4 days left.
Yeah,
you know?
I hate that feeling. I almost don't want to go on holiday to avoid that feeling at the end of the holiday,
Yeah,
you know?
whenever it's the Christmas break, my wife, who is very fortunate with her job, gets 4 weeks off. She basically counts it as 2. Because the final 2 weeks, she's worrying so much about having to go back to work. And then there'll be a few meetings in that final week, so she doesn't count that as work, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's me, the stay-at-home father who hasn't worked a day in his life since March 2022.
Hey,
so.
look, I'm going to correct you there, bro. You've worked every day since that day, 24 hours
I'll
a day.
correct your correction. I haven't worked a day and gotten paid for it.
Oh, yeah, good point. That's even worse.
I'm just a volunteer, you know, just a philanthropist.
Oh, well, what did you play this week, Guy?
Look, I said last week I was going to play a lot of Fortnite. OG Fortnite is back. It is continuing to be for this week and next week. I didn't get to play as much because weirdly, 2 nights in a row, I played a round of Fortnite with the squad, right? We died readying up for the next round. And it was just taking forever. We couldn't figure out why. And they were saying, Guy, you've not readied up. So I went back to the lobby, tried to load up, and Fortnite wasn't loading. But for them, it was all going fine.
Oh.
So I was like, this is weird. So I quit the game, restarted the game, and then it just wouldn't load at all. It was just sitting on the loading screen. So I restarted my PlayStation, and same thing. Like Fortnite just like that stopped loading for me. And I've said this to a few people, like, was it update night? It wasn't update night. The following night, I tried it again, and Fortnite just wouldn't load for me. It was so weird.
Oh my gosh.
So I haven't touched it since because I'm too worried to think that all of a sudden my Fortnite is bugged and I can't play it.
Oh no.
So when we finish this podcast tonight, I'll go home and it'll probably all be fine.
I hope so.
But annoyingly, I didn't play as much Fortnite. I did play a fun game with my wife on Saturday night, which actually kind of ties into what you're going to be talking about in the podcast soon. So I'll save this for that.
Okay, love it.
But it is a fun little couch co-op game that I played with my wife that we had to stop because it was giving her anxiety.
Oh, so maybe not for me then. We'll get to that.
I'll let you judge whether or not this game is worthy of anxiety.
Okay,
For her,
right.
she wasn't digging it.
Okay, I can't wait to hear it.
So what have you been playing?
Well, the only thing I played this week again was Trackmania Turbo. For some reason, I've now reinvigorated my passion for this game because Sam and I do time trials. You can make tracks and just like try and beat each other's times. And I will say, I am competitive with him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty bloody good actually. So we're getting like addicted to it, just trying to better our times. So I've completely forgot about every other game that I own, like Stray, that I'm meant to be playing. It Takes Two, that we're still like halfway through.
We
won't mention that for now. I'll let you know when I play that again. I won't mention that ever again, eh? Until I've played it.
It would be more surprising that you mentioned you've played it.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that's all I've played. And coming up on today's podcast, I probably should have teased this earlier. We might have lost listeners already because we didn't tell them what great content we've got coming up.
Let's bring them back, reel them in.
Well, I want us to chat about split screen / offline multiplayer, that whole vibe of a game. Yeah. I also want to talk about multiplayer in general as a thing and like online multiplayer, but my main focus tonight is going to be on split screen. And Guy, what are you going to talk about today?
A hypothetical question because we're rolling in towards the end of the year. We are mid to late November. So Christmas parties are happening at your work, and if it's not a Christmas party, it's a Secret Santa.
It is.
So I want to know if you could choose a video game character that you know has you for Secret Santa. Who would it be?
Okay,
who do you think would buy you the best gift for
Nice.
Secret Santa?
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, we've also got the old PlayStation controller to give away,
Speaking
don't
of
we?
gifts, yes, we do.
Hey, now what was the range? The PlayStation
Earth tones.
That one.
It's
Earth.
Deep Earth.
Yeah.
I think it's called Deep.
What was it?
Oh,
Deep.
God.
Oh, we should know this.
It's been a week.
I know. I literally wrote it in a caption the other day, and I've already forgotten it.
Yeah, the Deep Earth collection. So it comes
That's
a nice deep cobalt blue,
Yeah.
and a nice crimson red, and a really dope sterling silver color.
Yes, and we have one of the crimson reds to give away, as we mentioned in last week's episode. Now, we had people entering as we asked. So well done to all of you that actually listened to the podcast, got right to the end, found the keyword, and messaged it to us. I've got I'm going to draw it live on this podcast right now. I haven't got the winner yet. I've basically assigned a number to each entry, and I'm going to just use Google random number generator, and I'm just going to bring it up and just see who wins it. Is that a good way to do it?
That's a great way to do it.
Okay. All right. Should I just do it now, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So the winner of the Earth Tone... No, I've already forgotten.
The Deep Earth Crimson Red PlayStation 5 DualSense controller.
That one. All right. I'm generating the random number as we speak. The random number is 8, and
I feel like I'm watching Lotto.
And the winner of the Crimson Red PlayStation controller is Ben Williams.
Ben Williams! Number
Congrats.
8.
Congrats to Ben Williams. You've got a giveaway, a controller coming your way, is what I was meant to say today.
Hey.
I'm a poet and I didn't even realise. No, well done to Ben. Thank you for entering, and thank you to everyone for entering. We're probably going to have more giveaways coming up in the near future. Hopefully maybe some Xbox ones or some Switch ones, because we've done a few PlayStation ones. We realise that we're very PlayStation skewed as it stands. But well done, Ben. You've got that controller coming your way. And I just wanted to take a moment to shout out some of our other listeners who messaged us.
Yep.
In regards to our chat last week about smells in a game, wanting to be 4D and being able to smell it, Greg said that he would want to play The Sims in general just to do his life better. So he wants to do The Sims to try and live his life the way he wishes he could live it.
Of course.
And then obviously smell the smells. So I suppose that's pretty like normal, just like cooking and I don't know, what else do you smell?
We're going to get to a point where there's so many movies about that where people, the surrogates, where you're in you just wear like a little suit and then you just go deep into the metaverse and then you just live a different life that's way better than the one that you're currently living.
That's a trippy concept.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it is,
We're just going to be sweaty blobs in track pants, and we're going to get into these little capsules in our houses that smell bad, and we haven't paid rent, but we've paid for these $1,000 capsules. And we're going to get in there, and we're going to go to a different world, and we'll be living in Puerto Rico, owning a bar on the beach, and we're going to be having the best time of our lives.
That's such a trippy concept.
Online.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do you think the world just end up being like that? We'll just be like lying in little
As
capsules?
long as we have enough money in our lives for sustenance to keep us fed and some water, and then the rest of our lives we're going to be living in these little pods.
That sounds grim.
It's going to be fun, guys. Looking forward to it.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for messaging us, Greg, in regards to that. And then we also had a message from Daniel, and him and his wife, who she is not a gamer, they were inspired to play It Takes Two. So they're halfway through that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And did they only start it like 3-4 days ago? And
Probably.
they're already ahead of you and your partner, Sam?
Probably.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Yeah, Daniel, message us when you finish it and we'll see if you've beaten me.
He'll be listening right now and go, Ellie, I finished
it already.
I finished it on the weekend. We bought it on Friday. We finished it Sunday morning.
All right. Well, I guess it's probably now time for some gaming news.
Let's do it.
Gaming news. All right, well, obviously Chris is away, so it's back to us. Should I go first? You've got a couple, eh?
I got a couple.
Okay. Starfield's stellar patch now feast in the celestial east. Do you understand what that might mean?
Something about eating something out east.
That's not a bad guess, actually. Bethesda has just done a latest patch update to Starfield.
Yep.
And the big update that they've included, which I thought was kind of comical, is you can now eat food without picking it up. So you can just eat food. So it says, by popular request, we have added the ability to ingest food and drink items upon finding them in the environment. You can enjoy those chunks immediately or save them for later. The choice is yours. So I don't know what it was like before. Maybe you couldn't eat before. Yeah. Maybe you couldn't pick up stuff.
Ironically, there's a lot to digest here. Because I would like to know when it said from popular request.
Yeah.
Now, really, how many requests did you get?
Yeah.
But it would have to have genuinely been enough for a big game to go through and do a patch.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like, they wouldn't just do it if it was like 14 people that said, oh, it'd be great if you could eat instantly.
Yeah.
So it really must be an annoying mechanic of the game. Unfortunately, I haven't played Starfield. I was so excited to play it, but I don't have an Xbox. And then all of a sudden, it just, everyone just stopped talking about it.
Yeah,
my TikTok feed was full of it. I was so excited to maybe play it one day or at least just see content about it. And then, and I know it's a very popular game and people do play it right now. But the idea that they needed to include this in a patch is bizarre.
Yeah, it's buzzy, eh?
And the fact that it's so big, obviously, that you've found it online is it's like someone's made a story out of it.
Yeah. It was also there was some NVIDIA DLSS support, and I won't even say all the lingo. There was some other technical stuff that was like higher frame rates and all that kind of thing. But the bit of news that stood out to me was the fact that you could now feast in the Celestial East.
Look, I'm happy. I know that sort of time with that game was a burden for some people. Like, it took you ages to get from A to B. So these people are quite time poor. So if anything, to shave down a few milliseconds of your gameplay so that you could walk quicker, by all means. Also, the fact that this seems like a really small thing to include in a patch, and they've done it, kind of makes it seem like, when you've got a list of things to do around the house, and one of them is like, mow the lawns and get rid of that old washing machine under the deck that's going rusty. Like, that's a big job.
Oh, yeah.
But then there's also like, wipe the whiteboard clear.
Yeah.
It seems like that's this task.
Yeah.
And maybe Starfield has mow the lawn, get rid of the old appliance under the deck that they're just choosing not to do.
That's a good point.
You know how you're like, you've got a list of 10 things and they're progressively easy and you knock the easy ones off first.
Yeah.
And then you get to like number 4 and then you're just like, I'm not going to do the rest today.
Yeah. No, they're procrastinating.
If that's the case, then they're procrastinating.
Yeah.
If not, it means that Starfield is so clean and has 0 bugs that this was the biggest thing on their list.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've never played the game, but I feel like that is horseshit. I feel like there are definitely some things people who play Starfield go, great, I can eat quicker now. But also there is a massive problem with your game that you're not addressing.
Yeah. If anyone is playing Starfield listening,
I'd love to know.
Give us a message. Yeah, I'm interested to know, is that the big thing you've been waiting for? Is that like brighten your day?
The Reddit page is lighting up the Starfield. Look, guys, we can eat so quick now.
All right, Guy, did you have some gaming news over there?
I've got some music. I need the music.
Oh, let's go.
Gaming news. Not so Damn it.
Oh, no.
Hey, Chris does this all the time. Again. Gaming news, not so blast from the past. Some say too fast as we get game remastered.
That's great, bro. That's
the big story that came out this week from Naughty Dog Studios is that in January 2024 for PlayStation 5, we are getting a remaster of The Last of Us Part 2. The game came out in 2020 on PlayStation 4, so not that long ago.
No.
And for those who have played the game, including myself, personally, I don't think it needs a remaster.
It's quite soon, isn't it?
So the thing is, it's not just they've grabbed the game and they've made it faster and they've made it cleaner and they've made it prettier, and stuff like that. The haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers on the PlayStation 5 controller, that is a standard remaster. What they've also decided to include is a brand new game mode called No Return. It's like a roguelike survival mode where we'll put players in a series of randomized combat encounters with some characters that are fully playable for the first time and plenty of unlockables with leaderboards. So they've added in a game mode, right?
Okay.
So it's remaster and an extra game mode. There's also another game mode called Guitar Free Play. So there's a brief moment in the actual storyline where you play the guitar. You actually choose. It's kind of like Guitar Hero, but for a PlayStation controller.
Fun. Okay.
So the touchpad on the controller.
Yeah.
You strum that.
Oh,
right?
yeah, cool.
So it's a cool little element to the game. It's just you get to play one song, whereas this you'll get to basically create acoustic guitar.
Oh, fun.
It's just a bit of fun, right?
Yeah, cool.
There's also other instruments that you can use. So that's just like a fun little extra.
Okay.
The cool thing about this remaster is that if you own PlayStation 4, the copy of The Last of Us Part 2, if you want to upgrade to the remastered, it's going to cost you $10.
Oh, okay.
So they're not doing the whole, which they've done in the past, where it's like, hey, that game that came out not too long ago, buy it again for full price.
Yeah, right, okay.
They're kind of acknowledging
that's good.
Like, hey, we know what we're doing here.
Because it is a bit soon. It is only 3 years. So
Yeah. So, and people are kind of up in arms about this because like it didn't need to happen, but there has been this online multiplayer version of The Last of Us that it's been in the works called The Last of Us Factions.
Oh, okay.
So, it's kind of got a semi-announced. Everyone knows that it's been a thing. Bungie Studios, who made like Halo and Destiny, they said they'll jump in and help out, but then now they've thrown their hands up and say, we're not helping anymore. So it seems like this game might not happen, but everyone's like, couldn't you have just been working on Factions instead of remastering a game that came out 3.5 years ago?
Yeah.
So
great point.
If you really want to run down on this, there's a friend of the show. His name's Jordan. He has got a website called xenoj.com, which is XENOJ, ZenoJ.com or Gaming. He's a friend of the show, Jordan.
Yeah, I love
when this got
Jordan.
announced, he did he's done like 3 write-ups and a video and a social post. He's quite excited.
Oh, awesome.
So ZenoJ.com, Jordan is going to give you a big old write-up. But
Love
the
that.
next story. Rapid on the finger there. Gaming news. Man left Quaken after being mistaken for the man from Taken while playing Bacon.
What?
Newly appointed assistant to the ECG podcast, Chris Key, was obtained by Italian authorities 2 days ago after the public alerted his lingering presence. Key, 39 from New Zealand, was standing by himself staring at tourists while looking shockingly similar to the creepy guy who targets young girls in the action film Taken. When questioned, the trembling man said he was simply walking up to people and giving them his knowledge of the area and its resemblance to the popular video game Assassin's Creed. I was just telling people about one of my favourite video game characters, Idio Alzatoire, and how we jumped off that temple into a pile of leaves, said the 5'8" tourist. My wife was with me, but she got sick of me spouting off facts about a gaming franchise that, in my opinion, is declining in quality. So I've begun playing Bacon on my phone. I'm stuck on level 5. Police released Key after he began bragging about how he platinumed Elden Ring and then started sobbing that he didn't complete The Witcher 3 before departing his holiday. So that's just, and it's not quite gaming news. Like, it's not about games, but it is about Chris, who does the podcast with us. So he hasn't been giving us that many updates about his holiday.
Yeah, he hasn't.
But I found that online.
Wow.
He's neglected to tell us that.
That's interesting that he's hiding that from us, eh?
Yeah, so just going up to people and talking about Idio Alzatoire from Assassin's Creed.
If only he knew how to say it right. Am I right?
I know, it's quite embarrassing. So,
hey, good work on investigating that.
That's all right.
Thanks for bringing that to the
part of my job.
podcast.
So Chris will be bringing some more news next week.
Multiplayer games, where you at?
Outstanding.
What
a brilliant start.
What a
brilliant start. No, just keep going. Keep going. Multiplayer games, where you at?
Where you at, man? I wanted to bring this up today just to chat about multiplayer games in general, more specifically local multiplayer and split screen. But I also want to touch on online multiplayer because obviously that's grown heaps over time.
Insane.
But the other one has shrunk a bit, and I want to talk about that because the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've had a lot of joy in the last few weeks in particular finding my love for Trackmania with my partner Sam, and that's a split screen, or you can do time trials as well, which is not, but it's split screen, but has really good multiplayer options locally, and we have a lot of fun. And I've just been reminiscing and enjoying this time with him and going, man, I wish there were more games like this that I could do split screen with and just hang out with my partner.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really necessarily into playing with strangers online, but I'll get to that soon. It's just more, I've been enjoying that. Also, when I was in LA, I mentioned I was playing a lot of games on the couch with my friends. And again, it was just a really nice bonding experience. Yeah. And I also have a lot of nostalgic memories from my childhood doing that with all of my friends and all that kind of thing. I don't know if you found this, but you've obviously found as well that less split screen games are being made and sold and are coming out.
It is definitely more surprising nowadays to find a good split screen co-op local multiplayer game as opposed to what it used to be 10, 15 years ago where basically it was always.
Yeah, exactly. We've actually kind of mentioned this before when Chris brought up the Forza Motorsport game that came out recently and it didn't have split screen and we were up in arms because it's a multiplayer game online, so why can't it be also a split screen? Like if it's already...
It's annoying because I feel like the big answer to the question as to why it's less, I believe, is just it's all down to money.
Yeah.
If I buy Forza Motorsport and I want to play it with a friend, then that friend also has to have it.
Exactly.
And if I buy it and it's 4-player split screen and then 3 of my mates come around all the time and play it, that's 3 potential people that didn't buy the game.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
It's just annoying.
It is annoying. That's kind of the wider chat I wanted to have is just the whole idea of the gaming industry becoming so capitalized kind of and commercial now that we're kind of losing that like love for the games and like the kind of real organic enjoyment that I had as a kid. I feel like is kind of getting saturated online and we're kind of missing out on it now. And yeah, you're right. It's 100% money. And also I think putting the development into the game to add split screen, I'm sure that's more development hours that they have to put in to that game. So maybe the payoff is not worth it anymore, but this is where I get really frustrated in general about money and stuff because I think that obviously money's measurable. that's a good measure of success, and you need money to make the world go around. I get it. But I also feel like the integrity of a product or a game or a brand or anything and the user experience for me is actually the most important. And I know that doesn't equal bank account dollars. So I get why a big commercial company has to cut costs elsewhere and do that kind of thing. But I was reading some Reddit comments about this because I looked up on Reddit. Are people also annoyed about this like me?
Yeah.
And there were quite a few people saying things like, I have amazing times with my son playing Rocket League. And like parents are having it as are finding it's a really good bonding thing with their kid is to do split screen.
There's a huge increase of parents now playing games with their kids because of the bonding.
Yeah, and you can't really do that online. You'd have to be like on different devices and different.
I know. So Fortnite, for example, you can do local split screen. So if Daisy all of a sudden she woke up tomorrow and she was 12 years old, I could say, hey, let's play Fortnite together. And it'll be a cool little bonding experience, but it's not very common.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I don't think Call of Duty does that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I just wish we had more options like that because I really enjoy it and I have I think maybe I've got a bit of a nostalgic tie to it, to be honest. Maybe I'm getting a bit old. Of course,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I really enjoy it. And I think there were some things that I did some research, like why are they stopping this? As online connectivity's increased, like the internet, the developers have focused more on online multiplayer. It does make sense. Yep. I get it. Like that's one of the reasons. There's also just like trends, and obviously with esports becoming a thing, developers need to put money into the online multiplayer again. But then I was also reading about some sort of opinions about this because online multiplayer and gaming in itself is becoming such a big thing, and it is a big thing, and it's oversaturated. There's quite a few multiplayer games that have kind of been launched and then just like died immediately.
It feels like because the big companies are focusing on the multiplayer, it's these smaller companies are going, there's a gap in the market for local couch co-op, but they're a smaller company. So they can't create as big of a game.
Exactly.
So then they'll only get a smaller piece of the pie. It Takes Two is from a smaller company.
Yeah.
While it won many game awards, and from that has become more successful. Yeah. Hazelight Studios, it's still at the end of the day not one of the big boys.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you want to be the brand that is known to do local couch co-op and do it well, your ceiling is going to be a lot smaller than a company that does a really successful, or not even really successful, just a relatively successful multiplayer.
Yeah.
You're right. It's unfortunate, and I hate it because like there's the nostalgia attached to it.
Yeah.
The amount of days, especially leading into summer, which is ironic because we should have been going outside, but like 10, 12 years ago playing Halo 3 during the summer holidays, and we would have 2 Xboxes in 2 rooms, and we would have like an 8-player LAN party we'd spend hours just playing Halo 3. That's such a nostalgia thing for me.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of thing of the past now.
It is, eh?
Yeah.
I'm just old, I think. I'm just realizing that I'm old and it's kind of moving on, and I don't, because this kind of brings me to the next thing is like, I'll ask you the question first. Do you play multiplayer games?
Yes.
I mean, I know Fortnite obviously is.
Yeah.
Do you prefer multiplayer games online to solo games like, I don't know, like Spider-Man that you've just played? Like, what's your do you have a preference?
For me, I mean, I love a good solo campaign, big time. Like Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, Red Dead 2. I threw my hand in with a bit of Assassin's Creed recently. If it's a rich storyline, The Last of Us, I will play that as long as possible.
Yeah.
For me, playing Fortnite, it's less about me loving Fortnite. I just happen to love the game. Yeah. It's just it's the social aspect.
Yeah.
It's the 4 guys, 3, 2, whoever's online that night, and we're not talking about the game. We're just catching up.
Yeah, nice.
It's a means to catch up with friends.
For sure.
For me. I don't play Fortnite. To answer your question quickly, I don't play Fortnite solos.
Yeah, right. So that's the social aspect.
You can play solo Fortnite where you're going up against 99 other people and you can get the dub, whatever. I don't play solo Fortnite. I will play duos at the most. Squads at the most.
Yeah. Well, that's cool because you've got your friends you're hanging out with, your actual friends you're playing with and stuff. Like I find that a lot of you either want to hang out with your friends, which, I mean, getting everyone's calendars synced up to one gaming session is so hard when you're an adult as well.
Ridiculous.
That's why I want to play with my partner who I live with because I can literally grab him and go, let's play a game together and I don't have to organize it with anyone. But I don't really like playing online with strangers. No. Like for a lot of reasons. Like I first of all, I'm not attached to them in general, so they're not my friend and I don't want to be your friend. No, I just don't really want to like hang out with a stranger.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
And also I get scared if I had a headset on and people yelling and stuff, that just overwhelms me. Also, it can be toxic in those forums as well.
You'll find it's majoritarily majority.
Majority?
Mostly toxic. Because, with Fortnite, I say I don't want to play solos, but you can sit there and go, well, why don't you just go random squad fill?
Yeah.
And I could play a squad with 3 people I've never met. I've tried it. I handed it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, so-and-so, do you have a mic? And I have a mic. I'm sitting there. I'm quiet. I'm like,
yeah.
And they're like, this guy doesn't have a mic. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I mute it and I just relax. I do this for the social aspect of people I know.
Yeah, same, exactly right. And that's why I'm coming back to my point is I want more local multiplayer games that I can hang out with friends even at my house, as opposed to having to rely on like big servers and forums of people that I'm scared of, to be honest.
We touched on this in a previous episode because you said you were playing it. Knowledge is Power, which is a PlayStation 4 game where you just need the disc or the downloadable. You just need one copy, and then you all download an app on your phone, and you play the game by doing your phone. That one's a quiz game. There's also one called Frantics where you're just basically just doing swipe and tap. And I've played those games so many times on Friday nights with friends. They would come around.
So fun.
And it's so much fun. There's a game I played on Saturday night with my wife. You can get it on the PlayStation Store for $11.25 New Zealand.
Yeah.
It's called Pizza Possum. And it's you can just play it solo, or you just turn on the PlayStation controller and all of a sudden a second player pops up. You play as a possum or a raccoon, and you just run around this little island eating food.
Oh my gosh.
And then you just got to make sure you don't get stopped by these dogs who are the police. And you've got to eat enough food to then unlock the next gate. And then you get to there and you've got to eat enough food to unlock so it's quite quick and rapid.
Okay.
And if the dog catches you, then you sit there and you're being attacked by a dog, and your friend or your partner, your wife, comes and hits the dog, and then you're free. But if you both get captured, then the round's over.
Oh, fun. Okay.
It's super simple. It's not mind-blowing graphics. It's just a fun little fast co-op game that you can play.
Okay.
And I
awesome.
loved it purely because it meant I got to play a game with my wife.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think this is where it's coming back to, is we like to play games with our friends and our loved ones. And with the lack of kind of co-op, couch co-op and local multiplayer, it's kind of becoming less and less of a thing, which I'm just sad about.
It's unfortunate because also a thing is so for example, the latest Call of Duty that just came out, Call of Duty 3, that's been getting a lot of heat at the moment because the campaign, which was one of the things I loved the most about a Call of Duty game, was the campaign.
Yeah.
Is 3 hours long, which is insane. It's so short. It's been slammed in the reviews, but they're throwing so much money at the multiplayer. Because the thing is, you release a game January 1st, 2021, and if you nail the multiplayer, you don't have to release a game for years. Case in point, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
2013, that game came out.
Yeah.
You sink 40 hours into the solo, and then for the last 10 years, they have been crushing it with the online multiplayer to the point where, like, the only reason we're so hyped about GTA 6 is because we're still talking about GTA 5.
Yeah.
So by having a successful multiplayer, it means the game has a longer shelf life.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 came out in October. No one's talking about it as much anymore because you clock it in 30 hours and then you're done.
It's such a good point.
I finished Spider-Man 2 and I felt so empty and I was like, oh, I've done it. And then I could, if I wanted to, go swinging around the city. There's no point.
But there's
no point. If there's a new patch and it brings in a new game element, then maybe. But with an online multiplayer, it just means that you are playing that game for longer.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Well, to round it out, how about after your recommendation of what was that game you just said?
Pizza Possum. You can get it on PlayStation, Xbox, I believe Switch, and Steam as well.
Okay,
so it's a real cheap, fun little quick game.
Fun. Okay, well, I'm going to recommend some highly recommended couch co-op multiplayer games. If you are interested in playing something like this or you're struggling to find one, there's obviously Overcooked, which is a multi-platform.
Yep.
And you're literally just with your friends, like cooking up things and trying to.
Starts nice and relaxing. It gets insanely stressful.
I wish
I wish you could just sort of play the first couple of levels in terms of difficulty. I would for hours with my wife. We just cook.
Yeah.
I'd be like, order up, all that stuff. But then all of a sudden it gets harder.
It's hectic.
And the tiles in the floor start falling and your shit starts moving everywhere. You're like, I just want to cook.
I know. Yeah, I found that weirdly stressful actually. Yeah, it was fun though. Cuphead multi-platform.
Cuphead.
I haven't played that.
I haven't played it, but it does come up a lot.
Awesome. Apparently that's local co-op.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley you can play split screen. I can't even say it. Stardew Valley you can play split screen. Minecraft obviously. Rocket League, which I mentioned before. Diablo 3, I think. It says you can do co-op play for up to 4 players.
That's cool.
Gang Beasts, which is
Gang
multi-platform.
Beasts is very similar to the game we played with Let's Play Live, Party Animals.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a fighting battle royale game, but the characters are like those wacky waving inflatable two-man sort of mechanics. It's quite hard
Funny.
to like grab someone and throw.
Yeah,
But
okay.
once you get it, it's fun.
Okay.
It's chaotic.
Awesome. All right. And then there's A Way Out, which we've actually talked about before, which I've done and you've done. That's awesome.
Great,
and then obviously It Takes Two, which you've done and I will do.
They're both the same studios as well.
Yeah, they nailed both of those
they
games.
did a really good job.
That's great. And then one more, Helldivers multi-platform, a cooperative twin-stick shooter with a focus on teamwork and challenging missions.
Yep, this came out a while ago, but Helldivers 2 got announced this year at the PlayStation showcase earlier on this year. Helldivers 2 is coming out, I believe, either at the end of this year or start of next year, and that looks fun.
Okay, awesome.
Did you ever watch that movie in the early 2000s, Starship Troopers?
No.
Where it was like a planet of they go and kill a bunch of radioactive bugs.
No, I don't think I have seen that.
Yeah, it's basically Starship Troopers.
Oh,
for the
okay.
game.
Fun.
Violence against these giant bugs that try and kill you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like the Wasp bit in Takes Two.
Oh, yeah, it's like that, but also insanely graphic.
Oh no.
And it's not. It's definitely going to have a bit of an R16 sort of vibe to it.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, after researching, there are still a lot of co-op games that exist, and there are multiplayer games. I'm just a bit sad that kind of all the money and resources going into online multiplayer because it's just not for me. And if you're listening to this, I'm gonna pop up some Instagram stories. I think I just want to hear from you. Like, do you prefer single or multiplayer? I'm just keen to get the vibe of the nation. You know, like what are we thinking? Are we onto something here? Or am I just too old and I just need to like?
No. I think you're definitely on it. This is definitely something that people are going to agree with. Whether it's got nothing to do with someone, if you've got a husband or a wife or a partner, it's just if you want to be able to sit on your couch with a friend and play a game.
Yeah, that's just what I want. Is it too much to ask?
'Tis the season to be jolly.
La la
Fa la la la
la.
la 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 la.
Sorry, you were getting there. I had to jump in. Sorry.
No, you didn't much. I think I added an extra la la la. No, it is Christmas season. Basically, as soon as Halloween is over, we roll into the Christmas season, and I'm super for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I put up my Christmas tree today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
And I know I go on about it, but having a kid changes it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Christmas when you're in your late 20s and stuff, and you're like living with your partner or something like that, and you don't have a kid, it's just like Christmas is Christmas.
Yeah.
But when you get a kid in there, all of a sudden Christmas is different.
Yeah.
So like I was like, she's 2 now, so I was actually like helping her hang stuff on the Christmas tree. Very cute.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I want a kid now just for that reason. Oh my gosh.
Do it. It's totally
Sam,
just
let's
for
do it.
that. Yeah. So yeah, we're in the Christmas season, which means Christmas parties at work. And if you don't have a Christmas party at your work, then maybe you have a secret Santa.
Yeah.
You'll throw your name into a hat, you draw a name quietly, and then you've got to buy that person a cheap, but not too cheap present.
Yeah.
And then you will dish them out at the party. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
I know I didn't really have to explain what a secret
Thank
Santa
God
is,
you
but
did, though.
just in case. Just in case someone's like, oh, I feel alienated because I don't know what a secret Santa is now.
No.
So I won't be doing a secret Santa this year, being a unemployed person, but I wanted to think about the video game characters that I've played over the years, or I have never played, but I know about, and think, who would I want to receive a Christmas present from? So all the video game, you throw your name in the hat with all the video game characters of the world, and you're like, I really hope so-and-so pulls my name.
Yeah.
Because then you start to think about what they could possibly buy you.
Yeah.
So I threw this out there, and you could go real easy. The rich people. Your Lara Crofts.
Yeah.
Your Bruce Waynes, Batman. Tom Nook from Animal Crossing. That guy's a swindler.
Oh, okay.
Starts in Ireland, and then he's like, oh, do you want to build a house? I'll give you a loan, but it's going to have interest. And then he owns everything. So I looked it up. Apparently, I don't know who did the math. Lara Croft is worth $1.3 billion.
Really?
She inherits all of her family's estate and stuff like that. Bruce Wayne is worth $100 billion.
Wow.
So that explains why he can afford to be Batman.
Okay, yeah.
And Tom Nook is worth $645 million
Wow.
for a little like possum raccoon that lives on a small tropical island.
Yeah, wow.
So obviously the rich people,
Yeah.
the rich video game characters, they might buy you something nice.
Yeah.
But also there's no thought.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
If you
want
know
to be
somebody's
creative.
just bought you something, but just because they've got money, you're like, yeah, I
Thanks.
appreciate that. But also like, what's that got to do with me?
Exactly.
So that gets me to the creative or thoughtful gifts.
Oh, okay.
Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, what would he get? Yeah.
Well, Peter Parker, when he's not being Spider-Man, is a photographer, right?
Oh.
He works for the Daily Bugle. So I feel like could take a really nice photo of the New York City skyline, and it'll be a good photo because he's a photographer.
Yeah,
And also because he's Spider-Man, he could get to a really cool spot.
True.
And take like a real dope photo.
Yeah.
And then print it out. And I feel like that'd be quite nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
Joel from The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
He lives in a world that is like 25 years after a horrible zombie apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
So buying stuff, you basically can't buy anything. You can't go down to Best Buy and get a electric toothbrush or something.
Yeah.
So whenever he gives a present in that world, I feel like he has to trade for it. He has to work for it. He has to scrounge and scavenge and all that stuff. So anything you get from Joel, I feel like is thought about.
Yeah.
And you appreciate it more because you know the effort that's gone into it.
Yeah. And probably environmentally friendly because he's probably been resourceful and using the materials that he has.
So Bruce Wayne buys me a private jet.
Yeah.
Joel from The Last of Us gets me a ukulele that's got 3 strings.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And I feel like the ukulele would be
the present you'd like.
The present I'd like.
Yeah.
Because
that's lovely. Yeah.
So Joel from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And then the shit people who I wouldn't want to get a present from.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, yeah, what would he?
He'd get me a gun. He'd get me something stolen.
I see.
A wolf pelt.
Yeah.
Or some sort of disease he didn't realize he has.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely guy.
Yeah.
Great game.
But no.
Shit for Secret Santa.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't want something from him?
Because he flexed his wealth when he was on the Hogwarts Express first.
Yeah,
in the first movie.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll take the lot, thanks. First of all, twat move. Because what about all the people that wanted sweets afterwards? You are a first year, you're on the freaking Hogwarts Express.
Yeah.
Your older brother told you, don't forget to get a chocolate frog on the way. And you're sitting there and you're holding your gillions, your goblins or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, some 4-eyed freak with a bowl cut in the cabin next door just bought everything.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sure there's a spell where they just restock the cart.
Maybe.
But
we don't see that in the movie, so
we
it
don't
clearly
see
didn't
that,
happen.
so let's just assume it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So he flexed his wealth by doing that, so he's like up there with the rich people that I feel like he'll buy you something, but there's no actual thought that's gone into it.
Yeah.
Because he bought all of those things from the sweets trolley, but he was a nerd who didn't know anything, so he wouldn't even know what he's buying.
Nah, yeah, true.
Ron told him about chocolate frogs and then the jelly beans.
Yeah.
But then, we'll take the lot, thanks. How freaking arrogant do you have to be? Think about all the other kids on the thing.
Yeah, he clearly didn't, did he?
He deserves to be bullied.
Man, this has gone south.
I'm glad Voldemort tried to kill him in every movie. And then just to finish up, Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series.
Oh, my best friend, yeah.
The one that, you played for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It'll probably be something old and ancient from a temple of whatnot, which is cool if you're into lame shit from 18-something ago, like Chris, who does this podcast, who's like, it's a toilet brush from China in 1724. It would be useless, though.
Yeah,
so if you want to sell it, because it might be worth something,
Oh,
you can't just chuck something up on TradeMe or eBay because it's probably stolen. So some government will go, yoink, we'll take that back.
True.
Or some museum will go, oh, we'd love to show it up in a museum for free.
Yeah.
It'll be a donation. So Nathan Drake, shit presents.
Yeah, don't want him, yeah.
So the ideal person for me, Lewis Hamilton.
Oh.
So Lewis Hamilton, obviously the Formula One legend, who's currently racing for Mercedes. Now he counts as a video game character because there are F1 video games. Also, recently he's got his own skin in Fortnite.
I saw that. Yeah,
which is hilarious because I follow F1 on Instagram and people are trolling. And every single time Lewis Hamilton's in like a video or a photo, people are commenting saying, "Oh, it's the guy from Fortnite."
Oh, really?
Because all these like men in their 40s who love F1 was like, "He is not from Fortnite." So Lewis Hamilton, nice guy.
Yep.
He's rich, but he would put thought into the present.
I agree.
So I'd be angling for maybe like return flights to the UK to watch him race at Silverstone.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would rock. Yeah, no, that's a good choice.
He does have a tequila company.
Yep.
But it's alcohol free.
Oh, I didn't realize it was alcohol free.
So it's like buying me a Mercedes but not putting an engine in it.
Yeah.
So
really
I'll take the tickets to Silverstone. Thank you very much, Lewis Hamilton.
Yes, shot Lewis.
Sorry, I feel like I just talked a lot there. A lot of it was talking about bullying Harry Potter. Secret Santa, who would you like to receive a gift from the video gaming community?
Well, the one that came to mind for me, to be honest, was actually a Hogwarts Legacy character. Yeah. Because I wouldn't mind a wand for Christmas, if you know what I mean.
But the wand chooses you.
No, that's a good point.
And you've got to go to, what's his, Chris is going to be annoyed here.
Mr. Ollivander.
Ollivander! Mr. Olive Oil, yes.
Yeah, I thought a wand would be nice because...
Wand would be great.
I could then get whatever present I want. I could literally just like go, I want that present, and there it is. So,
I'd love a wand just to be able to fix shit.
Yeah.
Reparo.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a broken record player. I've been sitting in my house for like a year, broken. Reparo. Done.
Yeah. Alohomora, unlock. Boom.
That's all
done.
I need a wand for.
Yeah.
I don't need all the other shit.
That's a good point, actually. So, yeah, that would be one of them. Another one that I would like, actually. This is more of I'd love a lesson from this character. And that's a Sims character. And I'd like them to teach me how to use the motherload cheat so I can get lots of money.
Very good. It's a very roundabout way of saying I want to have money.
Yeah.
You started off with I want to have a lesson. Yeah. And I was like, oh, she wants to better herself.
No, I just want them to know how to.
I literally want a cheat code.
Yeah, I want a cheat code. I don't want to know how to use it. Yeah. Did producer Jake over there, did you have any that you thought of?
Yeah, I've got one. Guy asked me earlier. I think when you want a secret Santa present, you want it from someone that knows you really well.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, what game have I played the most?
Oh, yeah.
Or what character do I know the most, or it knows me the most? And I think, because I just played lots of Pokemon when I was younger, it's Pikachu. He was following me around all the time.
Yeah.
Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah.
So you want a Pikachu, or you want Pikachu to get you a present?
Pikachu would be a good person, a good Pokemon character to give me a Secret Santa present because he knows what I'm up to. He's following me.
Yeah.
He's just like my very own stalker.
Yeah.
Cute.
And I think stalkers are great.
Yeah, they'd give good presents. Put it that way. Yeah. Creepy, but like they know you well.
No one knows you better than a stalker.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just give me a present and then leave.
And then please kindly exit. Yeah. No, that's a good one. Nice.
That's a good one. I never really thought of Pikachu as the kind of person that like gets to know you well.
Yeah.
Because doesn't maybe it's earlier on in the program. It's been a while since I've watched it, but he used to shock Ash quite a lot.
Yeah, he's
he?
pretty rogue at the same time.
But a bit of a dick move.
yeah. Him and Harry Potter. Like,
Get in the bin.
Now that brings us to the end of another Extremely Casual Gamers podcast episode. And I haven't said our tagline in a while, have I? Our tagline is a casual gaming podcast for the everyday gamer.
Nice.
There you go.
Throw that tagline in at the end.
Yeah, I should be doing that at the start, probably.
It's fine. Mix it up.
Well. Hey, exciting stuff because we've obviously got an Instagram and a YouTube and a TikTok, and we've obviously been talking about those. But today, as you listen to us right now, sitting on our YouTube channel, which is at ECG Podcast, we now have every single episode that we've recorded in video form up online.
Yeah, we do.
So if you want to actually watch our faces the whole time, and who wouldn't want to because we're all hot, then you can do that. Apart from episodes 1 to 9.
We're in a different studio.
We didn't
have the capacity to do that, but we're in a dope studio now with producer Jake. Who's worked very hard putting all these videos together. Yeah. So, not even for our sake. For Jake's.
For Jake. Do it for Jake, guys. Go and listen and watch these episodes.
Do it for Jake.
Hashtag do it for Jake. That's ECG Podcast on YouTube. Give it a like or something. You know,
if you do go on the YouTube, can somebody comment hashtag do it for Jake? I want to know how many people do it.
Yeah. Good.
And if no one does, it means no one's
listening.
No one likes you, Jake.
No, and no one likes you, Jake. Yeah. It's not our fault.
Not our fault.
The content shit. It's because they don't like Jake. Yeah. No, if you want to go and watch those full eps, you probably already listened to it, so maybe you don't want to. But tell your friends. Yep. And give us a subscribe.
Yeah.
And a like and a comment.
Have a look at our studio. You see all the cool gaming stuff that we've got on the wall in the bookshelves here. Yeah,
they're cool actually. Jake does a good job setting it up for us.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so YouTube, ECG Podcast. We're obviously on Instagram, which is Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast. And then TikTok is Extremely Casual Gamers. So 3 different handles for you to wrap your head around.
That was a me thing.
Nah, it's okay because they're probably all taken on different...
ECG Podcast was taken on Instagram.
Who?
And I looked and I believe it's massively inactive. Also, isn't ECG got something to do with your heart?
It is. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, so just remember all those if you can. We also have a link tree though in our Instagram bio. Yes. So that actually is an easier way to find it.
Hit us up on the link tree.
But hit us up on the link tree there. What are you going to play this week, Guy?
I'll be throwing my hand in the ring for some Fortnite. I'll be doing that. Weirdly, Fortnite just hasn't been loading for me this week. So hopefully it loads when I go home tonight.
Has your dropping in with the boys bus broken down, has it?
Dropping in with the boys bus, yes. Throwback to last week.
Yeah.
And maybe a bit of pizza party with my wife.
It's fun.
Pizza possum. Pizza possum.
Pizza possum. Yeah, nice.
Pizza possum. Yeah.
Nice.
What about you?
I'll probably play more Trackmania because I'm just currently enjoying that a lot.
I need to play this. It's on PlayStation, right?
It's on PlayStation, yeah. It's a pretty, it's almost like arcadey. Like the graphics are arcadey. It's not like
how much
crazy
is it
graphics. I actually don't know what it's at the moment. It's probably
Sounds cheap.
Yeah, it's pretty basic, honestly.
Yeah.
But I just find it fun. It's just fun you can make tracks, so you can like make your own things. Yeah, or you can just race each other, or you can do time trials with like each other's ghosts. Yeah. So like you can see what their last lap was.
I would instantly, if I had this game, make a track the shape of a penis. Just immediately, my brain didn't even think.
Yeah.
For a
you just went straight there to that.
When you said make your own track, I was like, man, I'll make a dick.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and I could be like, I'm going to overtake you on the balls.
Yeah, fun.
Then, and then pick up some pace down the shaft.
That's actually probably quite a good track layout. Got a good straight, couple of curves.
What you could do is you can make the balls a figure of 8. As opposed to be like, me at the bottom. Yeah, so you could do like a figure of 8 up the shaft, around the chicane, down the shaft.
Yeah. Nice.
That could be a pretty cool track.
Yeah, okay. Well, you have to download that now. I think it's actually included in the PlayStation Plus subscription.
Even better.
So
I'm going to change my answer to Fortnite and Pizza Possum to I'm making a dick track.
Yeah, please try. I want to see. I want to see what it's like.
Yeah, and then I'll make a boobs track.
Yeah, it's so mature. I love that. But yeah, I will also be playing the old Trackmania. Maybe I'll try and get into a bit of Stray if I have some downtime. I just want some downtime. I've been so busy recently to just sit in bed and play Stray because I actually really want to play it.
That game screams you.
Yeah.
Because it's a cat.
Yeah, I really want to play it. I genuinely do. And, maybe it takes two if I get a moment.
Don't you dare lie. I don't even know. Why'd you even mention it?
We should do a tally of people who have started It Takes Two after listening to this podcast who beat me. So Jacob and his partner are playing it.
Yeah.
We've got Chris and his wife. They were playing it.
And she, like his wife Lucy, hated it. But I still feel like
I reckon they're going to do it.
I reckon they would still beat you and Sam.
Yeah. There was Daniel and his wife. There's a couple more that have messaged us saying they've played It Takes Two. They've probably all beaten us already, but we should just start doing a tally. And then every time someone beats me, I've got to, I don't know.
I might try to play it and beat you by just playing it by myself.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 controllers. Insanely hard.
That would be really hard.
Probably never going to be able to do it.
You might. I feel like I wouldn't put it past you. Just sit there and study it all day while Daisy's napping. All right, how do I?
All right. Maybe I'll teach Daisy how to do it.
She'll beat me.
Beat it by a 2-year-old.
Yeah, no, that'll happen. But yeah, well, Chris is going to be back next week.
He will be back.
So we can stop defaming him on the podcast.
Get ready for a solid, we all bring a topic to the show each week about gaming.
Yeah.
I feel like Chris's topic is just going to be him correcting us on things that we've said wrong, deliberate or not.
Yeah.
And maybe punishing us with chat about his holiday.
Yeah.
We'll give him 3 minutes to talk about his holiday.
Yeah, we'll set a timer.
Yeah. And then we're not saying that you shouldn't talk about your holiday, Chris, but also like it's just coming from a place of pure jealousy.
Yeah, so just keep it.
I didn't get to experience a child-free holiday through Europe.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so how dare you have a child-free holiday through Europe?
In fact, I'm actually annoyed he put stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, how dare you do that as well?
It's a real Harry Potter stealing all the sweets from the trolley move from you there, Chris.
No, yeah, he deserves to be bullied as well.
Hashtag bully Chris. Yes.
Hey, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.